Hi there, my name's Amelia and I'm the Widening Participation and Outreach Coordinator for Reed College, and I'm here today to let you know the best way to start your career in the performing arts as a young person. So unfortunately, performing arts is not a mandatory subject in secondary school curriculums, and therefore a lot of people that are in secondary schools or colleges often know that they want to pursue performing arts but have no idea how to get into the industry, how to go about training, and it's something that can seem quite scary and overwhelming when you're not sure what you're doing. So if you are in a position like that, I'm just going to spend some time today breaking down what is the best way and the best routes to go as to starting your performing arts career. So with most professions, you think, I'll go to school, and then when I'm done with school, I'll go to either sixth form or college, and then when I'm done with that, I'll go to uni. And so people often apply this same method of thinking to performing arts, and it's not quite the same. So once our students at Reed have finished their training with us, we actually don't recommend that any of them go to university, and I'll explain why. The bodies that regulate universities within this country do not have an in-depth knowledge about what it takes in order to go into the vocational side of the arts industry. And therefore, the uni courses that offer these performing arts courses, whether it be acting or musical theatre, often aren't held to the standard that they should be. So if you've watched any of my other videos, or even if you've been to anything to do with Reed, one of the biggest things that you've probably heard us banging on about is how vocational our courses are and how practical they are, and that you get 27 hours minimum contact time a week and all those sorts of things. So because this is a practical industry where qualifications are not held to the same standard and you are judged based off of what you can bring into the room and perform, you need that within your training. So a lot of acting and musical theatre courses at universities, although they are vocational, sometimes you're getting as little as 6 hours contact time a week on those courses, and the course is actually predominantly theory. And if you enjoy studying the theory of this side of the industry, that's fantastic. But if you want to be a performer yourself, that's not going to give you the backup and the skills and the grounding that you need to get into the industry successfully. So generally, what we'd say is if this is something you want to pursue, university is not the route to go down. So instead of university, where you can look at going are accredited dance, drama and musical theatre schools. And the place that you can find all of these schools is cdmt.org.uk, and that stands for the Council of Dance, Drama and Musical Theatre. Now, CDMT is the governing body which is nationally recognised as the body which regulates performing arts institutions and ensures that they are meeting their vocational criteria and really giving out a quality level of training that's going to allow you to progress successfully. So if you go onto the CDMT website, they've got things laid out really helpfully. So everything's broken into acting schools, dance schools and musical theatre schools, and you can look through all of those lists and see the places that are actually accredited and recommended that you go to. Now, these are all institutions that we at Reed also think are great and often have great relationships with, and these are the kind of places that you want to aim for. Now, it is important to point out that Reed is not on the CDMT website, but that is for a specific reason. So we are not able to be accredited by CDMT because we are not a 3-year performing arts school. So it does not mean that we don't hold ourselves to a certain standard and that we are not a quality institution. It simply means that it is a type of accreditation that we are not able to get. But fortunately for us, the quality of the work and the students that we produce gives us enough backing and enough proof that we are who we say we are and we do what we say we do. So as you start looking through these lists, one thing that's important to check is just the age limits on the courses, because most of the 3-year courses do accept 18 plus, but some of them do accept 16 plus as well. Now, what you'll probably quite quickly realise when you're on these sites, and if you go onto the drama schools and the dance schools websites themselves, you'll see that they offer mostly diplomas but also degrees. Now, this is where it gets confusing, and it's really important to point out that going to an accredited performing arts school and doing a degree is not the same thing as going to a university and doing a performing arts degree. if that makes any sense. I know it's quite confusing, but essentially what I'm saying is even though these schools do offer degrees, they are still held to a certain standard that a lot of university degrees are not. So you don't need to worry, basically. And the reason actually that a lot of these accredited schools now offer degrees is because of funding. So if you are looking at going to a accredited school that offers a diploma course, or you want to get onto a diploma course, you will quite quickly realise that diploma courses are not funded. Now, there is a scheme which has been available for quite a while in this country called DADA. DADA stands for Dance and Drama Award. Now, you can go online and have a bit more of a look into DADAs yourself, but essentially DADA is a scheme which offers funding to those from low-income households. It is means tested. Now, what's great about DADA is it not only offers funding for course fees, but also for living situations and arrangements that allow you to fund your way through your course as well, which is really, really great and has actually helped a lot of our students when they've gone on to their 3-year schools. Now, there are also things you can look into like higher educational student loans, and also Future Finance is a resource which we've quite recently found, which may be worth looking into if funding is something that you're struggling with for your 3-year course. So you've got it all planned out. You're going to finish your GCSEs, and then you're going to go to college and study performing arts, and then you're going to audition for drama school, and then you're going to get in. But what happens is you don't get in. Now, this is an extremely common place for young people to end up in, and it's not anything to be ashamed of, it's just the reality of what happens. And it happens because these top performing arts schools are able to hold the accreditation that they do because they take on usually quite small amounts of students to allow them to give their students the best training possible, an ethos that we also hold at Reed. But because of this, you may have 2,000 people auditioning for a course which only has 15 places on it. So these schools are notoriously difficult to get into, and that is where Reed comes in. So Reed is kind of like a bridge step between school and drum or dance college. Particularly our foundation courses, we actually get most of our intake for those from students who have auditioned for drama school and not got in and realise that they're not ready yet and don't have all the skills they need yet, and then they find us. So I'm not going to bang on too much about all the benefits of Reed in this video because there are plenty of other videos for that. But in essence, the reason why we have such a high success rate of getting students into these top schools is because what we offer at Reed is a mini experience of what they offer. So just a few tips of practical things that you can do now as well if you're maybe in school or even in college and you're thinking that this is a career you want to go into. Here are some things that you can do to help yourself start preparing for all of that stuff now. So it sounds obvious, but go to any dance and drama classes that you can. You don't have to spend loads of money, but if you can have a look in your local community and see if there's any amateur dramatics clubs or local dance schools or anything like that that can just allow you to start getting some training, that's going to benefit you so much in the long run and give you a much better chance. If you're at school and you're picking your GCSEs or your A-levels, try and pick something performing arts if you're able to, because it's just going to give you some kind of regular performing arts training, and again, mentality wise, if nothing else, that's really going to help you out in the long run. Go to the theatre as much as you can. This is something I touched on in another video that I made talking about what we look for in interview, but just in general, going to the theatre and seeing as much live art as you can is so important because it gives you aspiration and it gives you an understanding of the standard that you need to be working towards and aiming for. You don't have to spend loads of money to go to the theatre, or you don't have to live in a big city. If you do and you can, that's great, but if not, have a look in your local community, see what there is. It doesn't even have to be a professional production. It can be a youth production or an amateur dramatics production. But just being in that environment and existing in that space will do so much for your mentality and your headspace and allow you to learn a lot more than you'll probably realise at the time. Read and watch plays. There are so many plays that you can buy for so cheap online now, and especially in the time of this pandemic, there are so many plays that are being released online for free by the best theatres in the country. The National Theatre, the Royal Shakespeare Company, among many others, are releasing so many of their fantastic plays completely for free online and on YouTube that you can watch at home, and it's such a great opportunity to be able to sit and watch those and educate yourself from the comfort of your own home. Again, similarly to that, listen to musicals. If musical theatre is what you're into, listen to the soundtracks, learn the songs, research the composers, watch interviews with the choreographers. It's really important in general, and I'd say this across musical theatre and acting, that you shouldn't just get to know who the people on stage are. You should know who the directors are, who the casting directors are, who the choreographers are, who the musical directors are, who the assistant directors are. Start getting to know these names, because they're going to give you a much broader understanding of the industry as a whole, and that is really, really going to help you out down the line. And lastly, something that we recommend to all of our students, learn an instrument. Now, with the courses we have at Reed, unfortunately, we don't have time to put in the timetable scheduled lessons for learning an instrument, because it would simply take away from the quality of what we're able to offer, unfortunately. But it is a skill that we really recommend and we really encourage all of our students to have, because in the industry it will serve you so well. Even if you can only play a few chords on the piano or the guitar, just having a base understanding of music and how to read music and playing an instrument will open up a lot of doors for you, and it's something that we encourage our students to do whilst they're on our courses, like we said. And if it's a skill that they already have and they're already really good at, we really encourage students to keep that up whilst they're in training with us. So I hope that was helpful and gave a bit of an insight as to how to start going about preparing for a career in the performing arts and where to look for training and all those sorts of things. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact us on our social medias. As always, please have a look on our website. We've got loads up there. And if you've got a burning question or something which is unanswered that you really would like answered by the college, please feel free to email me at amelia.stevenson@reedcollege.org.